What is up? Welcome back. Let's see what we got here. Brian with some maintenance. Yes, they restored via software without a problem. They've been testing alright. And then we've got Alejandro with a break, of course. And then Robert with 2 no power pods. And then 3782 with no power. And I'm not doing any more. Well, we'll see. I don't think we're even going to have time for that much. We're starting way too late. It's way too hot. And yeah, it's whatever. Let's fix some stuff at least. And message a few folks. I really don't feel like, did not feel like streaming today. I really did not want to stream today. It is too freaking hot, but there are too many freaking HomePods waiting to get fixed. So I simply do not have a choice but to chip away at these when I can. If we manage to get through these before my wife gets home, screw it, we'll keep fixing a few more, but I do not think we'll get that far. Let's message, of course, let's message the first few folks here. I need to clean, but I just don't have the time for anything. I just want to like take a month off. Nobody hears from me. Everybody forgets I exist for like a month. And then I could come back and everything would be like nothing changed. That would be great. But where's Brian? 3752. Text message. That's right. This heat's killing me. I'm trying to stay in a good mood, but I'm not freaking having it, man. This shit sucks. And like, it's making everything run like crap. Like everything's like overheating and slowing down. Here we go. Alright, we found Brian. Let's find Alejandro and let him know they're next. Okay, I think we've messaged a few folks, or enough folks. Listen, I try not to swear, but every once in a while, I feel like it is okay just to truly, properly convey the emotion and how I really feel. And right now, I feel really freaking hot. It is hot. I'm done with it. I've got the air conditioning going in the living room, and then like a series of fans to funnel the air into my room here. Oh boy. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe we'll clear through the rest of these HomePods before wifey gets home, and I'll be in a better mood from that. Maybe it'll frickin' cool down by then, huh? Just work in the living room. We're this close. We're this close to doing it. If my wife gets a job or starts cosmetology school back up again, I'll definitely be setting up in the living room so that we can watch the kid while we work. Ooh, it needed that. Man, and I stayed up till freaking 2 in the morning trying to catch up on emails and messages, and I still ended up having to go to bed with like 80 some on text messages and like 40 some on unread emails. I can't do it. I mean, I can do it as long as people are patient, and most people are pretty understanding and very patient. And I mean, for a customer facing like service kind of job, like you really can't, I really can't complain all that much, especially when you consider the way that people are usually treated with other customer facing service jobs. But I've got people's children. I've got their babies, so it makes sense that that a lot of them would default to treating us right. Not to mention, you know, I genuinely think most people aren't out there to be evil. You know, what's the saying go? Like, better to assume ignorance than ill intent or something like that. Cosmetology. Oh yeah, that's it's like beauty stuff. You got like hairs and hair and nails. All sorts of beauty and makeup, but it's mostly like hair and nail stuff is what I gather. She's already gone through and done everything for her nail license. She just wants to go back and do everything for the hair stuff now. You know, stuff that you would expect going to a salon. Beauty school. Ooh, and one of the great things about it is like they always need people to like practice on. So I mean, basically free pedicures and manicures and haircuts. It's a good deal. If you've never gotten a pedicure or a manicure, you should absolutely try it before you knock it. Man, your hands feel so fresh. You could take on the world. with a fresh set of hands. And they look fantastic too. My wife does an excellent job cleaning up the cuticles and making your nails look good. And you don't have to even get them painted. Like getting petties and manis doesn't always mean getting them painted. But man, does a fresh set, painted or not, but freshly scraped and taken care of, make you feel like $1 million. That's for sure. Like massages for your nails. Get some braids. Well, I've always thought about getting like a wig. You know, if anything, it'd be just fun to have some freedom with, like, you know, whatever kind of hair I want. Yeah, my wife hates the cutting part. She pushes as much as she can and only cuts if it's absolutely necessary. But she's pretty good at it. Uh-oh, we're out of flux. Time to break out a new tube. I'm running low. I think I've only got like 20 of these left. Alright. Ooh, well. You know what they say. No such thing as too much flux. Man, I used to have the longest hair my mom would have let me have, too. And I used to have it. And if my hair ever grows back, I'm never cutting it again. Okay, alright. We got some new filters on there. Those love to go bad and cause death farts and all sorts of bass issues, so we like to stay ahead of that. Wipe some of that extra flux off of there. Do we need a new Schottky diode? No, we do not. We've got a 42K date code there. Those don't fail and cause any kind of issues. Goodness, everything else actually looks great. Let's get this back together with a new subwoofer gasket, and we will move on to the next one. the string thing. One new subwoofer gasket made of solid rubber to replace the old squishy semi-porous foam stuff. Steph and Siri is way too omnipotent for you to simply drown her. You can't just simply get rid of her. Sure, you can disable her on your HomePod. You could even disable her on every single one of your Apple devices. Heck, you could get rid of every single one of your Apple devices. But what about your sisters? What about your parents? Your friends and family? The people you go to school with? The people you walk by out in public? You're never gonna get rid of Siri. She's here to stay. She's here forever. Does 3752 mean you've done 30,752 HomePods? Roughly, give or take a few hundred. I get ones all the time that people don't want any record of. They don't want it streamed and logged anywhere. There's HomePods that I've bought broken and fixed and resold. So there's easily a few hundred. I mean, maybe even 1,000 or more undocumented repairs from those. But it's a fair estimate to say, yeah, that's about where we are. The number itself comes straight from the number of people that have submitted a repair request. So number 3782 up there is the 3,782nd person to reach out to us and get their HomePod repaired. I'd say it's like a 50-50. If somebody's gotten a HomePod fixed from us before, they put in another repair request, which increments the number, which is more fair. One person with two different HomePod repairs should count as it should increment the number 2 times. But also a lot of people we fixed for will just shoot us a message and say, hey, I'm just going to send you another one really quick. And I try to get everybody to fill out a repair request. It just helps keep things all in one place, easy to track and what have you. But I'm not super strict on it. So, but yeah, you would be the 3,752nd person to have sent their pod into us for a fix, give or take. The potent word thing. I said omnipotent. Omnipotent. It means. Let me Google it so you get the proper definition. One of having unlimited power, able to do anything. I think the word I was actually looking for was omnipresent. Omnipotent or omnipresent. The omni means all or everywhere, and potent means strong, or present means here. So omnipresent would be present everywhere, and omnipotent would be unlimited power, essentially. In other words, you're not getting rid of her. She's in your phone, she's in your watch, she's in your laptop, she's connected to the internet. And all Apple has to do is server-side software updates to do some pretty crazy stuff. I don't know if it was my phone misbehaving or what, but it was really wild to see the settings in my phone for the Apple AI settings. Like, without updating the OS, they had continued to tweak and change it a little bit. And I'm not used to that. I'm used to things requiring an update for things like that to change. See, and whenever she misbehaves, she knows exactly what she's doing. She knows what she's doing. She's playing games with you, man. She's playing with you. And then they take an audio recording of you every time you get super frustrated, and they send it to an email group, and everybody takes a listen and laughs. All right, we've got Alejandro with a brick. Ubiquitous, yes. Ubiquitous is much more the word I was looking for. Thank you, Brian. All right. We've got the blinkies here. John thinks it's a hardware issue. Well, I'm hoping our luck is gonna turn up today. I would prefer a software fix for this fella. I always prefer the software fix. But here and now, especially in particular, I really want this one to be just a software issue. Let us attach a few screws to our handy dandy 3D printable USB restore adapter. A few screws, not too long that they'll poke through. We don't want to cause a problem. All right. We get the Mac We get our terminal, we get configurator, we've got the HomePod upside down. We will plug our USB adapter in. We will plug in a power cord, and now we can run our commands. We'll phone it, we'll reset it, and then we will attempt to restore it. Most hardware issues will cause this to error out pretty early on, so we'll cross our fingers here for the next minute or so, and if it makes it far enough, then we'll set this to the side and let it finish while we work on another one. Ah, there it is. Waiting for NAND. Alright. Well, I guess we'll put them in line. I'm never gonna get my I'm never gonna be able to keep any HomePods for myself, am I? Got to tether them all down for their logic boards, and then before I can get another logic board and make it work again, I gotta steal its subwoofer or amplifier. Ah, such is the life. Let's set this to the side. We'll let Alejandro know that theirs is gonna take a little more than just a software restore to get working again here. And I do believe there are still 2 other people waiting for logic boards. Excuse me. But I do have a couple. So once we clear up the rest of this queue, we can come back to some of these HomePods that have been waiting for logic boards and get those finally cleared out of here. Until then, let's move on. Let's get some stuff fixed here. We got Robert with no power. This is the first of 2. Here we go. No lights, no power. A couple of watts from the wall. Y'all know what that means. Oh boy. I've got quite a few logic boards. These all just need the NAND redone. So we're not in horrible shape, but I always prefer to replace people's logic boards with a tested used working replacement instead of one that I've redone the VGA on. Just because I'm still a little, I guess the way I could put it is I lack the confidence to fully trust that my VGA rework on those chips is gonna outlast what Apple originally did. Or at least a few years. I mean, I don't want to be doing all that work and charging people money and having to take them all back and redo them every few months. Or heck, even if I want it to last. And and that's what I've been doing, short of fixing a few and then testing them for years on end. I do a little mix. I will usually replace the logic board with another used working one. Sometimes I will use one that I have redone the VGA on. And of course I keep track of of which ones I did what on, so I can keep an eye on whether I see a higher RMA rate or warranty rate on ones that I've redone the BGA on, or if I'm having all the same sort of bad luck on ones that I've outright replaced the whole logic board on. But when we've got when we don't have so much to fix around here and people waiting for us to get their stuff done, we'll crack out a few of those logic boards that are waiting to get redone, and we'll just hang out and chit chat and fix stuff for ourselves, eh? We can't just be fixing everything for everyone else. We got to take some time and fix some stuff for ourselves, right? Here we go. A little bit of maintenance first. We'll just swap out those fart filters and then we'll fix the no power issue with presumably that dead diode. macOS Tahoe. Yeah, I'll probably wait until it's at least a public beta. In all likeliness, I'll probably end up actually waiting until it's released, just because I use my MacBook so much. I can't really afford to have it, you know, beta software. I might find another MacBook that will run it, just to play around with it. I don't think I actually have anything else around that will run it. Alright, flip it around. Let's get that dead diode. With a 48K date code, of course. That soldering iron is not looking too hot. Yeah, last version to support Intel stuff too. Kind of surprised that they're giving them the UI overhaul before they give them a goodbye as their last OS. Okay, alright. Something tells me if you were the customer that bought the $51,000 Intel Mac Pro 6 years ago, you're not terribly concerned about it not being supported in another year or two. Like, technically no longer supported, as in it's no longer getting major software updates, right? But everything is still going to work, so you either don't care, you're just going to keep using it as it is. Chances are it's never even been connected to the internet, so it doesn't know any better, it never will, and it's going to continue working the same as it ever has since you set it up. Or you spent $51,000 on it 6 years ago. What's another $51,000 on a new one in a year? You know, the prosumer, let alone the home consumer, is probably not affected by the $51,000 Mac only having 6 years of support. It is still a wild kind of irony. But you see it all the time with more expensive enterprise stuff. Like it only comes with like a 2 to 4 or 5 or 6 year contract, and outside of that, you're lucky if you can even continue using the thing the way that you bought it originally. A lot of times it'll have a license that expires and you can't use it anymore, and you're locked out of being able to use the functionality for the hardware that you paid for. That's one of the things that I like about the software company that I work at is, well, we develop the software and we sell the hardware that it runs on. So when you buy stuff from us, essentially, once your license expires and your support contract expires, you can continue using everything the way that exactly you had it. You just simply don't get any support for future software updates. And that's fair. Now, the prices that we sell our software and hardware, I mean, $51,000, that's a pretty typical enterprise server for a medium to high grade deployment, let alone dozens or hundreds of those being deployed across the country for a large scale deployment. It's really not all that much when you're looking at customers that are spending that kind of money on systems per system. But the prosumer at home that spent that got the $5,000 to $7,000 Intel Mac Pro 5 or 6 years ago, I can feel a little worse for them, because that is a sizable amount of money for an individual to spend on a computer. But still, at the same time, there's nothing stopping them from continuing to use everything as it sits. You won't continue to get new updates, but boo-hoo, you won't get new features. You really want your system slowing down from them cramming all this new stuff on here, when your hardware slowly over time no longer natively supports some of it as they add it. Now, what would be the absolute proper thing to do? Like, everybody would be totally cool with them only providing 5 to 7 years of software support on that kind of stuff if they opened the hardware up so that you could do whatever you want to it after they no longer support it. Why continue keeping it locked down and restricted when you no longer support it? We all know why. What the answer to that is, that's, you know, they want you to get the new stuff. But anyways, the wife just pulled into the driveway, so I'm gonna go help her bring stuff in. We will be right back. Alright, we are back. We are back, and I have, while the camera was off, swapped out the guts of this with one that works, so that none of you are the wiser to me not actually knowing what we're doing here and just running a giant I'm just kidding. Of course I'm just kidding. We've got time to fix Robert's other HomePod, and then we'll see. I don't think we'll be able to get to the other one here, but we'll see what we can get away with. What year iMac is on the shelf above me? It's a 2015, if I'm not mistaken. It has a 4th or 5th gen i7. It's got the 5K Retina display. I don't know, for some reason, that right there, that felt great. I love this keyboard.
I'm having trouble connecting to the...
It's like sometimes you get into the typing flow and it just, it feels good. Perfectly clicky. It's almost like scratching an itch inside of my finger bones. Alright, let's cruise through these last two here. This is number 2, no power from Robert again. No lights, no nothing. The same power draw, so probably the same dead diode. And then 3782 looks like also no power. Here we go. Yeah, no, the crazy thing about that iMac is it was my boss's, and then he gave it to one of our developers, and then that developer got fired, or quit, or I don't remember, but the iMac ended up just sitting around for like 2 years, and then I decided to just, I literally, I would walk past the thing, sitting at that empty desk for probably 2 years, dozens of times a day. It was sitting right next to a matching 27-inch studio display. And I said, screw it, I'm just gonna see, it's been sitting here for so long. Hey, can I have that? Yeah, I was gonna throw it away. Sweet. So I got the display and the iMac.
Sorry about it. Those little snack boxes are awesome. Would you like some apples?
Ooh, no thank you.
When you're done, would you mind if I do my nail?
No.
My other hand with nothing on it is suffering.
I'll tell her you guys said hi. Xeon CPU in it. Ooh, is that gonna work? Like, is that confirmed gonna work? Or is it just the same socket and you're like, yeah, let's see if it works. Just curious. Because I have a feeling it might be missing some of the stuff that it'll need. From 4 gigs to 8 gigs, is that, if it's a 2011, is that DDR2 or DDR3? If it's DDR2, that is seriously sweet. Well, I guess that even 8 gigs of DDR3 compatible with the 2011 iMac isn't too bad either. Man, that really ages me. I get excited about high capacity DDR2 sticks still. What are we on now? 6? DDR6? Well, if there's forum posts saying it'll work, then that's good enough for me to give it a shot. Alright, here we go. Some new fart filters to start. Oh, I think you're right, because 2009 was the last of the Core 2 Duo stuff. And then what was it, 2010 or 2011, they updated everything to the I series. And that's when everything went from DDR2 to DDR3. And now for the dead diode. If you didn't know, if you haven't watched enough of our streams, you can sleep easy at night knowing that the only reason these diodes fail is due to a quality control issue with a particular batch of them floating around. So replacing these diodes with a new one in and of itself will prevent the same problem from happening again, but just to give warm and fuzzies, and also technically because it's a cheaper part, ironically, the higher quality, higher rated version of this part is what we use as a replacement, in addition to it being a new one. And from reputable manufacturers too. I mean, even though Diodes Incorporated was the manufacturer of the ones that failed, they are still going to be the most trustworthy ones to use as replacements. And you don't want to go on Amazon or AliExpress to get a lot of these components. You want to get the good stuff, or you'll be in the same spot again soon. No, you should really figure. You should learn. Take the time to figure out how to get those kexts modified. They're just kernel extensions. They're once you do it, the first few times, it unlocks a whole new world for you. What kind of dead pods should you buy? So the most repairable ones, the ones that you're going to have the best chance of fixing, in my opinion, are going to be the ones with no power. Because in most cases, no power is pretty easy to figure out. And in most cases, it's usually that dead diode. You got to watch out if you're buying HomePods in 220 to 240 volt AC markets. Those ones have a tendency of the big capacitor on the power supply exploding and corroding everything inside and causing no power. Not a problem that we really, I think, have ever seen on any pods powered on 100 to 120 volt AC power in the US here. But no power is still my go-to for parts pods. The ones with blinking volume buttons, you know, like I always say, it feels like a 50-50 shot. It could just be a software issue that you can fix with the restore using our 3D printed adapter, or it could be, and I mean you guys see it here on the channel as often as I do at this point, how many of these show up as bricks and how many of them successfully restore versus how many of them need new logic boards. It to me seems like about a 50-50 mix. So you're taking more of a chance on one with blinking volume buttons. And then you've got ones with like death farts or bass issues. You know, those ones you have a chance of the subwoofer needing to be replaced too. Or it being an issue that we don't know how to fix on the amp, and you need a whole new amp too. Wow. Yeah, I think your best bet's gonna be no power stuff. Nixon, what is up? Welcome back. $100 hi-fi. If it's in good shape, little to no yellowing, comes with the grill and the grill is in good shape. I mean, that's how much I paid for my first hi-fi. So if you're not willing to sit around and wait for a better deal to pop up, it's not, you're not I don't think you're overpaying for it. But if it's beat to crap, missing parts, and the only thing going for it is it technically still works, $100 is pushing it. I mean, if you're willing to spend up to $100, you can easily snag one for a bid on Shop Goodwill's website all day. I mean, I don't know at this very moment how many they have up there. Maybe I'm bad timing and they don't have any up there right now, but every time I check, it seems like there's a couple up there. And you gotta know what to search for too. You can't just look for you can't use the name of the product a lot of the times, or the model number. You gotta come up with some fuzzier search terms, like instead of searching for Apple Hi-Fi, just search Apple speaker. And that'll often turn up those hi-fi guys. Because a lot of the Goodwill sellers don't know what they're selling. They get a bunch of donated goods and they take pictures of it and throw it up for auction with a general description. Unless they're, in a lot of cases they don't even test the stuff either. And they sound really good too. Like, you won't be disappointed. If you're gonna do a side-by-side comparison between a HomePod and a hi-fi, the HomePod's gonna have a better sound stage, but the hi-fi by no means sounds bad. It sounds very good. It's got a great range, and it gets really, really freaking loud. It's an awesome party speaker. Throw a couple of rechargeable D-cell batteries in there and take it with you to the beach. Yeah, sponsor me, Goodwill. Sponsor me. Ah, Benjamin. That looks like a fresh name. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Most of the stuff you see come across our table during our streams here are HomePods that customers mailed in to us to get fixed up. A lot of the broken pods that I buy for myself do end up getting torn down for parts, though. All right. Oh, hello. She has to think about it. LXZ.
I'm having trouble connecting.
Another fresh name in the chat there. Welcome, welcome. Oh, that's funny. The HomePod, the Twitter guy, or the HomePod guy from Twitter. I love it. I have achieved the reputation that I have set out to achieve, and that is that HomePod guy. From YouTube, from Twitter. I mean, heck, I got the shirt on. Let's go. Alright. The last one for today. Of course there's a pile waiting in the trunk of my car to get fixed, and a few more in the living room waiting to get unboxed. But we're gonna keep ourselves sane here today and call this one the last one for here. No lights, no power. The kilowatt meter says we're pulling 4 watts from the wall, which tells me we don't have like a blown fuse. Blown fuses tend to cause completely open circuits, which means there wouldn't be any power draw, and we wouldn't see that kilowatt meter flicker or fluctuate whatsoever. If we see, when we plug it in, the watt, the power draw briefly spike and then fall down to 0, that would indicate something is still shorted out, but probably not the diode that we usually see. Little to no power draw like that after it pulls a few watts is usually like a shorted capacitor up here. But I'd say like more than 9 times out of 10 it's that darn diode on the amplifier. So we're gonna get to it, and we're gonna do a little bit of extra maintenance while we've got it apart. Make it better than new. My car is sick. Oh gee, come on, I just fixed it. What's wrong with it now? I'm so sorry. I'm a dad. I have to make the jokes. Thank you for the compliments. My hands look like this so that my car can look like that. Actually, this isn't that bad. I'm pretty much healed up from most of the. Ooh. I accidentally knocked my knuckle against the radiator fan while the car was running yesterday. That was not fun. The bruise on my knuckle hurts way more than the cut from the fan blade. Actually, honestly, I thought I like broke my knuckle for a second. I got really lucky. Ooh, and now that I've got my air conditioning working again, ultimate road trip car. I'm ready to hit the road. Alejandro, what is up? I believe we looked at your HomePod a few minutes, well, about an hour ago, I think. You'll have to rewind the live stream until you see your name pop up at the top left there. I'll spoil it for you. we attempted to restore the software with our adapter, and it is complaining about a hardware issue that caused its problems. In particular, the logic board, it seems to be having problems. So I've put yours off to the side for now until I get through another working logic board for you. I do have a few logic boards, but there are also a few people waiting for them before you. So we should have yours finished up in the next day or two. We'll try to get it wrapped up as soon as possible. But fear not, it is still perfectly fixable. It's not going to cost any more than we estimated for you. It's just going to take an extra day or so. Count yourself lucky, though. I will be raising the cost of repairs when they need whole boards replaced, like what yours is going to need. The prices for those repairs are going to be going up in soon here, unless the supply of parts pods increases. But yeah, we will keep you posted, Alejandro. I'll shoot you a message after the stream, just kind of recapping basically the same thing I just told you, and then I'll let you know. I'll shoot you another message when we are pulling yours up on the next stream to get it finished. Wait, hold on. Oh no, Nixon still wants his 3 minis. Well, okay, tell you what. I mean, it's not like I can't do both. I just can't do both at the same time. So, majority of people picked the giving away the big HomePod here. That's what we'll give away first. Not here, not now. But it will be soon, I promise. I pinky promise. For what my pinky's worth. Yeah, the Mini only has one active speaker, and it has 2 passive radiators, doesn't it? But the biggie is the stuff. That's where it's got all the speakers, all 7 tweeters, and the tweeters have an impressive dynamic range on their own. They go as low as I think it was about 400 kilohertz. And then the subwoofer takes over somewhere between 2 to 400 kilohertz, or 2 to 400 hertz. I'm sorry, not kilohertz. Lol, hertz. No, the Mini definitely has a passive something inside. Let me grab it. Yeah, you dingus. It's got 2 passive radiators. Check them. 1, 2. Dingus. There it is, a 46K dated dial. That's what's causing their power issues. Let's get that out of here. You absolutely can compare its sound to the size of the Biggie. That's the whole point of the debate. Is like, is the difference in sound worth between the difference in sound and the difference in chance of winning one? Is that worth the compromise? It is absolutely fair to compare the sound of anything between each other. Three minis and play some music and do the same on one Biggie. See, I've done that. It doesn't sound the same because no matter how many minis you add into the mix, at the end of the day, the minis can only reproduce bass frequencies so low. How low does the mini go? HomePod mini frequency response graph. Because I want to see the graph. I don't just want to, oh yeah, it can hit 20 hertz, but how loud is it actually at 20 hertz, right? Where's the graph? Okay, so it looks like you've got reasonable volume down to about 150 hertz, and then you've got a couple of spikes down to 70, and then it just completely drops off at below 70. So my point is, no matter how many minis you put together, they're not going to go lower than 70 hertz. Ideally 70 hertz, practically 130 hertz. The HomePods can go lower, sub 40 hertz. So it's not which will sound better is going to be subjective. Is the person listening going to prefer the outright louder volume of multiple minis, or are they going to prefer the more depth of sound and the wider frequency response out of the one big HomePod? Interesting, thought experiments though. I definitely want to try it. Need to get my hands on that, on an ambisonic microphone so that I can take some proper audio recordings for you folks. Not just for, different HomePod comparisons, but I've been putting off, a review on the SingCell Alpha for the day I get my hands on a proper microphone to record how they sound for you folks. The Yeti Pro's not gonna do it. No, and I don't trust my iPhone microphone to do it proper justice either. I was thinking of the Zoom. Zoom makes an ambisonic microphone that's like $200 to $300. It's like the Zoom H3 VR or something like that. I can't remember the exact model number, but it's a reasonably affordable ambisonic microphone with decent reviews. I just haven't had the spare money to really swing at it yet. I need to suck it up and do it though. The Hears, get the Hears. Can someone link me to the Hears? Is this like a product that costs thousands of dollars? Because I don't know how much I really want to invest into a microphone for spatial audio recording. Have freakish ears on a stand, yeah. But aren't those like freakish expensive too? I'd love to get my hands on some, but ooh, 280 euros. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. I think I could. I'll have to do some research and see how these compare to. Because I really want. Oh, I guess it's a stereo microphone, so it's gonna give you some sort of semblance of how things sound spatially, right? Alright. I might try to find some of those. I do not mind at all buying that stuff used. We'll see if, I doubt it, but if anybody's got any on eBay. All right, folks.
I'm having trouble connecting to the air.
Beautiful. Folks, that is all the time and energy that we've got for here now. I hope you all enjoyed this live stream repair. I'm gonna go bring the trunk full of HomePods that showed up today in and let folks know that they showed up. Hope you all enjoyed this live stream repair. I need to clean. Jeez. I'll catch you in the next